Yeah, just over 20 years. And I've been in safety about 16 years.
Wow.
So
you know your stuff. So today's guest is Melissa Fazackerley, is the Managing Director of the Dimensions H&S. Is that correct? Welcome, Mel.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Brilliant.
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good.
Good for a Monday anyway.
Yeah.
So you've currently gone on your own with your own business.
Yes.
And it's in a male-dominated industry.
Yes.
So tell us about your career journey and how you got into that.
So I fell into health and safety pretty much like most people do in health and safety. So I've always been in construction, started in an admin role. So a little apprentice on £79 a week, I think I was earning.
Oh, wow. 79 quid a week.
I know. But it was enough. I was 17. It was enough for like my weekend out. And
weekends.
It was enough for life then. So then there was a few changes in the business. And long story short, I ended up being told that I was going to a different department. So obviously consultation didn't even exist back then either.
Okay.
I had no say in it. You're going to go and work for the health and safety director. So I was still an admin at this point. So I accepted my fate, really. It was like, okay, I'm a young girl, because I was still a girl then. I'm a young girl in this industry, in an industry where I'd had quite a few telling offs.
Well, I can imagine.
You know, just like the industry's changed an awful lot, thankfully, but back then there was an awful lot of aggression and everybody for themselves. And so yeah, I did as I was told, basically. So then I went to support a whole health and safety team for a house builder. So I was health and safety admin, basically, so I'd not gone into any kind of specialism yet. And my director asked me if I wanted to do my NEBOSH. So I thought, didn't have a clue what it involved.
Okay.
So blindly agreed.
Health and safety, though, on its own is like really hard to think of.
It's a whole career.
Yeah. It's
a whole career, and I never realised that when I started doing this. So I went and did my NEBOSH general certificate, and I came back and I remember saying to the director, "What the bloody hell was that?" And he just laughed at me and he was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's whole like legislation. It was awful."
Yeah.
Awful. Like just
because there's so much that you've got to know.
Yeah. It was the first day of, and it's still the same now, I think. It's a full day of legislation when you start, so if that doesn't put you off.
That would put me off, I'm not going to lie.
You're in,
like I quit.
So I did that, and then I kind of developed through that team. So I was really lucky, actually, to start off with a team of health and safety professionals, and one of the women on the team I'm still in touch with now. She always says that I'm an inspiration to her, but she's an inspiration to me.
Well, you know what, your story does inspire me.
Yours inspires me. No, I think it's just we're doing amazing things, aren't we?
Yeah. As women are breaking grounds.
Yeah, definitely. So then, I did kind of progressed in my career, did a lot of learning on the job and all the rest of that stuff. And then I think I was made redundant from that position. Been made redundant 3 times.
Wow.
Chances.
But hey, this was to get you on the path that you're on now.
Exactly. It would be slightly different. Yeah. So I did. I did quite a few years with those guys. Made redundant, and it was so I had a bit of a career break with the kids.
Yeah.
So it was the recession.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff, and I was pregnant. So I was like, do you know what? No, I'll just take a break out of it. And then I planned on going back. And one of the old safety team had contacted me and said, they're looking for a kind of coordinator role here. Do you want to get involved? So I was like, yeah, why not?
And that was for health and safety again?
That was health and safety. So it was never something I planned on doing.
Okay.
And up until, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, it was never my career choice, but I didn't know what my career choice was.
I don't think you do, though, when you're a young age, do you? It's like, when we get asked in school, what do you want to do? And it's just like, It's such a big question that, like,
Huge.
what is it that you want to do?
Didn't have a clue.
I bet you didn't think health and safety.
No, it's not many people's first career choice, is it? So I went in there, and then there was some kind of buyout with a group, and they were looking to bring an advisor into the business. So me being me, I went into the managing director and said, I want to be considered for this role. And he was like, do you? Yeah, I do. So he was like, right, okay, let me see what I can do. So, kind of eye rolling, like, oh, Mel's at it again.
She's off.
Yeah. So I ended up being the CQ manager at that place. And that's where my career in facade started.
Right.
So from there, I think the company had closed, I'd moved on, and I ended up working. I did a very brief stint at a large consultancy company, and it wasn't quite for me because I love the people side of it. I love getting to know other people's stories and having just an interaction. You know, if I don't understand something, then somebody can explain it to me. Yeah. And we can work together and figure out what that looks like for safety, for working safe, for compliance and what have you. So where was I at then? So yes, I did a very brief stint there, and then I did a stint at a groundworks company, which was great, very young company.
So was this still on a consultancy basis?
No, this was actually in-house again.
Okay.
But I've always just had this feeling that there's something bigger.
Yeah.
And there's something more.
Yeah.
Didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
Didn't have a clue what it was, but there was something. And I think that's probably why I didn't put my finger on my career, because I wasn't sure what it was. So from there, I contacted my previous employer, which I know are a client of yours now.
Yes.
And I contacted the MD, and me being me
this
again.
This is really ballsy, isn't it?
I know, cheeky. So I contacted the MD and said, I think you should have a chat with me. And he was like, oh, okay.
Well, for someone to go out their own comfort zone to message an MD and say that, they deserve the chat.
Yeah, at least, yeah. So I went to see them, and it was, as it always is, it's kind of difficult to get out of your working day when you're looking at moving and whatnot. So I said, I can come later on, I'll be with you around 5:30, 5:45. That's fine. And about 9:45 at night, I was still there.
Wow.
I'd left about 9:45 at night, and I remember it really well. And he got really excited about, what I was talking about, and I was excited about the business, and it was all great. Anyway, I got an offer the day after.
Wow.
So I did a good few years there.
Yeah.
Learned an awful lot, and I think because I've been ballsy and I've just gone, do you know what, I'll do that. Let me get involved in that.
It's brilliant.
It's broadened my experiences.
Of course, yeah.
And it's made me who I am now.
Yeah.
And then
it's confidence. Confidence is key.
Yeah.
So if you bring something like that to the table, why would they not take you on?
Yeah. I can do it.
Yeah.
Can do attitude. Absolutely.
Yeah. Staying there till 9:45 at night. I bet if I can't get rid of her.
No, I know. She's staying now, whether we like it or not. So yeah, good few years there. Learned an awful lot. Got quite a diverse portfolio of experience. But I was still having this feeling that there was something more and there was something bigger. Didn't know what it was, but I'd always kind of said in the background, eventually I want to...
Be my own boss.
Yeah. But I didn't know when that was. I didn't know. And there's always questions, am I ready?
Is it the right one?
Yeah. And even now I have conversations with
it's
people.
Scary.
It's scary. It is.
Still scary now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like, there's people who've been directors running their own companies for 20, 30 years and they still say no.
Yeah.
I have doubts now.
Of course you do. It's like so many people can jump on social media and say like, yeah, I don't have worries and that, but it's like everything can be plain sailing, but you are still having them doubts in your mind, like, is someone going to pull the plug? Am I still going to be in this career? Am I doing the right thing? Am I even like, do I know what I'm on about?
Yeah.
I question that every day.
Yeah, it's normal though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's normal. So I basically resigned without a client base.
Bloody hell, Mel. No, that is confidence at its best.
Confidence, stupidity, whatever it is.
So what did you do? Did you just go in and say, I'm just going to set up, or?
Yeah, so it was, I don't think the guys were surprised. They kind of knew that there was always something bigger.
More for you.
So yeah, something more for me. But then, from my point of view, it was like, I don't want to just do the standard, I'll work with you, we'll figure it out between us and whatever else. And and then my last day came, and I think that's when it really hit me, and I was like,
shit.
Where am I going to on Monday? What am I doing? Like, what is happening? I kind of had a plan around it.
Yeah.
But
What was your plan?
So my plan, I'd already, because I'd stayed in touch with people who I'd known throughout my career anyway, it was no surprise to other people as well.
Yeah.
So they'd kind of said, look, come in and have a chat. So I kind of knew where I was going the Monday after. So I knew, because I've worked with people in the industry, I've got really good relationships, and I think I've got a decent reputation.
Yeah.
So I was okay when I started out, and I was like, do you know what, right, you're just going to have to work for it.
You have to believe in yourself as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's what I wanted. But I always kind of, I think even now, and everybody does, I could go back to working for somebody else.
You've still got to take that plunge, haven't you, to just try it out.
Try it. So yeah, I kind of built it through people I know. Word of mouth, recommendations, which has been great. But it's just...
And did that, the person that you used to work for, did they stay on board with you as a consultant?
They did.
Brilliant.
They did.
That's good as well, innit?
Yeah.
So you've got the support from them.
Yeah.
So that speaks volumes.
Exactly, yeah. Loads of support from people in the industry. From a construction point of view and from a health and safety point of view as well.
It's crazy, right? You actually really intrigued me to be in this industry in regards to construction and facades alone. Facades is such a hard industry to understand, especially with all the legalisation and stuff like that now.
Yeah.
So for a woman to be going into the health and safety of all this is mental. Like, I bet people used to just think, this woman's coming in and she knows more than us.
Do you know what, though? All of my facades knowledge has been through working with people.
Yeah.
And just having relationships with people and curiosity. So if I could say one thing to somebody who's even starting their career, let alone their own business, just stay curious.
Yeah.
Ask questions all
Research
the time.
is brilliant, innit? And you know what? I think you learn a lot more when you're working on the job. I have this conversation with a lot of people in regards to university or going working in the job. Go and get your hands dirty with the people that you need to learn from, and just things like that.
Yeah, experience.
Yeah,
pays dividends. It's massive. I'm a massive fan. So I started off as an apprentice.
Yeah.
Albeit an admin apprentice.
And then landed in health and safety.
And then landed in health and safety in facades.
Yeah.
But it's been the biggest teacher experience. And I think I get frustrated when I see, job adverts that people want people with experience and quals.
Yeah, I think it's unfair when people put on job adverts like you've got to have so many years' experiences. It's like, get someone in. If you think that they've got the drive and the ambition
Invest.
there, get them in.
Yeah.
They can learn.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a lot of time, but it's just like, it may be so beneficial. If someone shows like they're intrigued about the industry and stuff like that, get them in.
Yeah, yeah. It's like digging for gold, isn't it? It's taking work, but you're going to find that.
Yeah, definitely.
Payload, yeah.
So it's like, so you went into doing Dimensions, and then, so how did that journey start?
So yeah, it comes back to like there's something bigger. There's something,
Yeah.
and I think with a lot of things, COVID changed it, and I don't want to waffle on about COVID because we're all tired of it.
How long has Dimensions been going? Sorry,
this year.
Is it just this year? Stop it! Oh wow!
Just this year.
I thought it was longer than that.
No.
Oh wow! Go on, Mel.
Oh, very new.
You're flying.
Very new. Yeah, so I think like COVID changed a lot of things for everybody. So that was kind of one of the factors that made me sit back and think, okay, well, and I've always had people saying, you know, set up on your own, you need to set up on your own.
Yeah.
I'll support you and I'll come with you. And I'm not ready for it yet.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ready for it yet. And I think part of that is this whole female in construction mentality where it's kind of, am I enough? Am I ready? Am I competent enough? And I know I am.
Because there is still that stigma around women in construction.
There is, and I think, I might get this number wrong, but I'm sure it was like 14% of people in construction are women, so it's still a very, very small number. I think the industry is much more accepting of women in construction and women in senior roles. Definitely is. But it's having that understanding that it's an actual career option for people. So I know when my daughter was in primary school, she'd mentioned that her mum was going to a construction site. And the teacher was like, no, you've got that wrong.
Yeah, it's your dad.
That's exactly what it That's exactly what it was. She was like, no, your mum won't be going to a construction site.
It's definitely your dad.
It's your dad. And fair enough, dad's in construction as well. But I was so frustrated with it. So I contacted the school.
Did you?
I did contact the school because you're limiting future options for kids here by giving
that false information.
Yeah. Anyway, she's very stubborn, so she was like, no, I am right. So I think even from a very, very young age, we've got to teach children that a whole array of career options, not just construction, health and safety, like marketing. I didn't know marketing was an option when I was growing up, when I was at school, and I think
the world's changed so massively over the past 10 years with a lot of things. And a lot of people, now we have social media especially, like we're learning so much. You'll see more things online. And it's like, that is what gives everyone an eye opener. Now kids these days are all over social media. So it's like them seeing a woman in construction, and it's so like, it's inspiring really, because it's such like, for a woman to go into construction, it's a bit scary. You're going into a male-dominated industry, and especially with what you're doing, you're going in telling them what's right and what's wrong. It's like, here's Mel. She knows more than us. Because there's so much to learn in regards to health and safety, and the legalisations and stuff change all the time. Like, how do you keep up with all that?
With a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I'm a member of IOSH.
Yeah.
I'm a fellow member of IIRSM.
Yeah.
So they're my safety and risk management memberships. So there's updates from them. Obviously the HSE, there's groups, and I've got a really, really good network of people in health and safety. So it's just sharing information. Yeah. Just being a decent human.
Yeah, that's
nice. That's what we do.
Yeah. And you go to all the events and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was at an event actually recently.
Were you?
Celebration event.
Oh, wow.
I'm one of the NFB's top 100 influential women in construction.
Oh my God, well done, Mel.
Thanks.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So that was this month.
So you're going to be going in for awards and stuff next year, you?
Well, why not?
100% you need to get yourself up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fantastic, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was brilliant to be in a room full of women in the industry, but not just women in the industry, allies in the industry, people who were encouraging and promoting, and they're making
You're making a stance, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that you will inspire so many people as well.
Hopefully.
Of course you will, yeah.
Hopefully. That's the idea that, it's an option.
Yeah, 100%. So there's a lot of changes in the industry. Facades and construction alone. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Where do we start? So, yes, the new Building Safety Act's coming.
Oh, yes. I've been researching a lot on this. How mind-boggling.
Yeah, there's an awful lot going on.
Because it's so scary and dangerous at the minute that you've got to get it right.
Yeah, we have to get it right for people's safety.
Yeah.
For people's livelihoods. And we know how many people have been affected by everything that's gone on. And I think, yeah, keeping up to date with all those changes is massive. And I know some of my clients who I work with in the facades industry, they are on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
They can't not be, because you'll get left
the directors, it's all changed in regards to what I've been learning, is the top people are the ones who are going to get in trouble. They've got to make sure that everything is running like clockwork.
Yeah. And there's already been a couple of prosecutions.
Has there?
Yeah, not from the contractors part of things, but there was kind of a strong promise from government that it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And from the 1st of October, you have to have all these things in place. So I think there's going to be examples made.
Yes.
To force the change in the industry. And I don't think the change is a bad thing in the industry because it's more control, there's more safety, there's more responsibility and accountability placed on people to actually take this seriously. Not for 1 second I'm saying the industry didn't it before, but there's parameters now for everybody to be able to understand what they need to do, when they need to do it. And there's opportunity as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just, risk isn't just about the negative stuff.
Yeah.
It's about the opportunities that come with it. And I think there's a lot of opportunities to come with these changes as well.
What opportunities is there?
Get involved earlier.
Yeah.
Get involved earlier, get involved in the design, have
your
say as a competent contractor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot.
And public procurement, what are the changes with that?
Yeah, so it's something I keep I keep talking to my clients about. So social value is often seen as like a fluffy subject, but the reality is that so I'm from Wigan, little town, and it's not one of the best towns.
Okay.
So the idea is that any construction work, for example, that goes on in the town, there has to be some social value that comes from it.
Yeah.
So whether that's local jobs or whether it's kind of helping build the community, the town, so when, like for example, when I set up my business, the local council offers support for local businesses because they want to improve the economy in the local towns. So your social value side of things, if you're on a construction site, you need to contribute to the development of the area, basically.
Yeah.
So things that I've worked on in the past are, and it's not just about giving a bit of cash to a charity. It's about getting involved.
Yeah.
So
is that like community, offering the community work and things like that?
Yeah. So employing local labour, local materials if you can, and getting involved with local charities and local schemes. So like if they're building a new community garden or getting involved and having some input.
Bringing everyone together, basically, innit?
Yeah. Just making it a better place.
Yeah, 100%. And in regards to environment, landscape, what's changing with that for you, would you say?
So for me, so in construction, we've kind of had health and safety, and it's always been said that safety's been the word that's shouted and health is whispered, because obviously safety gets a big focus because your risks are there in front of you, and we often find that environment's tagged on to health and safety, onto the health and safety role. So for me, it's about managing the risk again, just managing the risk in terms of environment. So when you're planning your projects, have that consideration for the environment and for compliance, because the environmental law is
huge.
Just as big as safety.
It's huge. And then the quality.
So
tell us about the quality.
So from my point of view, I help businesses with the quality management systems, the ISO 9001. I should have said with the safety, but with the environment and safety as well, I do those.
Yeah.
And part of the changes in facades, for example, businesses need to be able to demonstrate how they're managing quality, which obviously affects safety. So the install of a cladding system, there's a lot around that in terms of the background quality, management systems, policies, procedures, all the rest of it. But then on site as well.
Yeah.
So it's about making sure that the install's going right, making sure you've got those records, any third-party certification for assurance.
Yeah.
That's what that's all about.
So if someone was to get you in and say, right, how would you work for me as a consultant? What exactly is it that you could offer them as a new client?
Yeah, so it depends on what they're after, really.
Yeah.
So ideally it would be some kind of strategy.
Yeah.
So helping them work on a strategy for safety, health, environment and quality. That involves the management systems, it involves some in-house training, day-to-day operational support as well, so visiting the sites.
So you do either do all that for them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, Mel, you do a lot. Don't you?
Feel it, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it though. That's one thing I do love about it, that it's just so varied.
Yeah.
And
I know you're working with quite a few clients now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm not doing too bad, to be honest.
So you're busy?
Yeah, I'm not.
It's not under.
I'm not struggling.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's good, but I am chocker.
Okay. You have a motto that you run by.
I do have a motto.
So come on. What's your motto?
Make it relevant and it will work.
Oh, I love that.
So I'm not about off-the-shelf systems. I'm not about ticking a box. So for me, it's about getting involved, getting to know the business, getting to know the people in the business, and actually build systems that are going to benefit that business and they're going to work for the business.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, there's always opportunity in what you're doing. So it's not just about, oh, we've got that, we'll just leave it on a shelf until we need it again. You can actually use it to effectively manage your business and manage the risk.
You take a lot of stress off by going into businesses doing this, and instead of them getting an in-house person, you working for them on the, like, as a consultant basis. It's a lot of stress off them.
It is.
Like, what you do is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, you work a lot like we do, going into a client, learning about them, learning about everyone in the company and where they want to go as a company. It's phenomenal. You becoming an extension to their team, basically. Yeah, which is nice. Yeah. Because
I've got clients who invite me on their training sessions that they're doing and little social events and things like that, which is nice. But yeah, I think because under the health and safety, the management of health and safety at work regs, you have to have a competent person anyway.
Right.
So whether that's in-house or external, it's the company's choice.
You've got to do,
Yeah. But I mean, I've got clients now who I'm complementing their in-house resource anyway. So I'm giving the in-house resource support with what they're doing in terms of building a strategy for safety and planning. Because obviously with all the changes post-Grenfell, with the Joint Competency Initiative, planning all that training, all those, there's an awful lot to be
there's got to be so much that you've got to keep up with on this health and safety.
There is.
You've got a hard job, Mel, I'll give you that.
But I love it.
I know.
I love it, and it's part of me. Like,
it's good when someone loves it, because you know what? It doesn't feel like work.
No.
And for you to come in and say that, it's just like, wow. Listen, honestly, our health and safety policy, I'm like, oh.
Well, if you need help.
Yeah, you could come in.
But I do genuinely love it, and it's always been like if I'm picking up a book, it's something to do with safety or leadership.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's good.
I live it.
And it's like, so does everyone's health and safety for different companies always change? You've got to really get to know that company and guess what strategy they need.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can give people a generic system. There you go. off you go, do what you're doing with that. But it's not something I believe in.
Nope.
You've got to build those relationships, and everybody has to benefit from that relationship. It's not a case of it's box ticking, and I hate the phrase, but everybody has to benefit from it, and it's not always a case of, it's not transactional, it's not, it's relationships.
Yeah.
And it's getting to know the business, getting to know the people, and being able to have an open and honest conversation. You know,
because if you don't see something that's right, you have to bring that up.
Yeah. But at the same time, I've got to praise people for what they're doing right and what they're doing well, which is obviously the nicer part of the job, because this is brilliant. Look at what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I had a call with a client last week, and it was late on Friday, and we were having a chat. We were going through what we needed to do, whatever. And I was like, look, it's 5 o'clock now. Come on, let's switch off. But because I've known him, and we've got a really good relationship, it was like, yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, we're done. Right, see you later.
Oh, I love that.
Have a good weekend. So it's just,
it's you, this is like when I set this agency up, I wanted to create an agency that was a lot more personal. I was going in and basically becoming friends with you become friends with them. Like, I want to know everything about that company, where they're aiming to go, and then getting on a relationship basis. Like, we go and sit in clients' offices once a month, we're working closely with them and building them relationships up, because then everything's transparent.
Yeah, it is.
And like, they get to know you on a personal level.
Yeah. And to be able to have the confidence to pick up the phone to you and say, Whitney, what do I do about this?
Yeah.
What do I think about this? What do, how can I
and
do
be able
this?
to turn around and say, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
Which we do. Some clients don't like it, some people do. But it's like, you've got to be honest.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially in yours.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of that honesty is the being brave about it.
Well, you have got the confidence. I think you've proved that.
But I think I started off my career when I actually got my apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Blissfully naive to what the actual industry was like and what it was all about. But because I've grown in the industry, I'm comfortable in the industry. Not too comfortable, because it's always changing, it's always challenging.
Do you not get scared with certain things, of giving advice, because it's such a touchy subject?
Yeah, you can do, but it comes back to this research and this network around you, and if there's topics that I'm not a specialist in, I know somebody who is.
All right, yeah.
So I can contact them, I can ask the question, and actually if it's something for them to do, then
you take it on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's for somebody else, that's not for me. So it's about, because as safety professionals, we have to know our own limits. It's part of the charter with our memberships and everything. We have to know our own limits. We have to know when to say no.
Yeah.
And we have to know what we can and can't do. And I think part of being a member of these bodies, we've got to do CPD. We've got to do continuous professional development. So reflecting on situations is something I've kind of grown into a habit of doing.
Yeah.
So, like, from today, I'll go back and I'll kind of reflect on it and think, okay, what could I have done differently? What did I like? What did I not like? And that just helps my personal growth.
Yeah.
And it has throughout my career, and I think that's been a real benefit to me in terms of looking at where I'm at and where I want to be.
Where do you want to be, Mel?
Where do I want to be?
Yeah.
Retired.
You've only just started.
No. For me, I'd like to build my business.
Okay.
I don't have dreams of running a huge business with tons of employees. But I think for me to run a business that sticks with my core values.
Yeah. What are your core values? I'm quizzing you now.
So, truth.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Truth and honesty, integrity, and just being a reliable, decent human being, and it's, I'd like to be able to run my company in a way that gives people the flexibility of life, gives them what they need, and to be a company that's giving back as well. Yeah. So, for example, like with the Wigan Youth Zone that I'm involved in.
I was going to ask you about that.
That I'd like to do more along that front, because I'm aware that I'm from a small town that doesn't have a good rap, apart from pies and rugby players. But, but yeah, I'd just like to live by what I believe in, and to be able to run a successful business with a team around me who believe in the same things and who have that trust and respect to actually to be able to work as a team for an amazing business.
Yeah, definitely. So in the next 12 months, where are we going to see Dimensions?
So you're going to see me more in... I'm going to get more involved in IIRSM, which is one of the risk management membership bodies.
Yeah.
So I'm getting involved with IIRSM. I'm going to be an awards judge for them for the second year running. Yeah. And for me, it's growing my business. It's
Are you going to start to employ people?
I think I am going to start I'm going to start looking at employing people next year. Maybe 1 or 2 people to kind of support the business.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about, you know, somebody who doesn't have experience, who needs
I love that
growth and that learning, that would be a nice place to go. Yeah.
And working with more companies.
Yes, absolutely.
So do you predominantly just work with facades companies? Is that correct?
Construction. Small businesses. Yeah, but my main focus is construction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and just going back to the Wigan Youth Zone that you volunteer at, can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes. So the Wigan Youth Zone, I'm not going to do it any kind of justice here, but they are a local charity for young people, whether it's they're getting involved in holiday club, whether they're going there just for a socialise. They also have a mentoring programme.
Oh, that's nice.
So people can get involved and one-to-one mentor young people.
Love that.
And it's a self-referral, so the young people want to be there. They want to be part of this programme. But what I focus on with my volunteering is the employability and enterprise.
You may find someone from there.
Team, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it would be a good place, actually. Yeah.
And you're supporting the community.
Exactly. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
You'll have your person in there, Mel.
Yeah, there will be at some point. So yeah, I help the enterprise and employability team. So I'll go in, I'll do some basic health and safety training. So the young people in there have got some experience of training, some awareness as well in terms of what they're responsible for, what their prospective employers are responsible for, but also just a bit of help with LinkedIn as well, because I don't know if you noticed, I'm all over LinkedIn.
Yes, you are.
But just a bit of help with actually people do go on LinkedIn to find apprentices and just making
LinkedIn is brilliant.
It is.
You know what? More young people should know about it.
They should.
Because you can get there's so many opportunities on there, it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is. So that's where I get involved with the Youth Zone, really, just kind of helping young people on their career journey, either getting back into work or starting work, and hopefully, like you said earlier, just being an inspiration to somebody, you know.
You are. Like when we got chatting and you were telling me your story, I was like, how the hell has this woman got into this? I was like, that is so inspiring, and your story should be told and heard by the younger generation, especially because it's so many people, when you mention construction and all that, especially to women. I mean, we've had a few people on this podcast now. We've had a woman who does a training. She's got a training providing service.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah, Cheryl, she's got her. She is really good. And she's a massive inspiration. And then there's a girl that we've had on recently that's working with her dad as a scaffolder.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bloody hell, you've all got more balls than me, because I wouldn't be able to do that.
It's brilliant.
It's phenomenal. And it's like, it does take a lot of balls, because surely you must have some like alterations with people, and especially men.
Yeah. So I when I first started in health and safety, I remember going out to a site once, and there was difficult times at the company, so people weren't sure as to whether they were going to keep the jobs or not. And then I'm going out to site, and like you do pick up things, because things fall down, whether it's intentional or not. There's always going to be something that's And I just remember this guy stood in front of me. It can't have been a foot away from me. And he was physically, bearing in mind I was early 20s tops. He was a foot away from my face, physically jumping up and down, screaming at me.
Are you joking?
And I still remember it. I still remember it to this day. It was in Blackburn or somewhere like that. I can't remember where it was exactly, but it was that kind of area. It was a new build estate.
So he was trying to intimidate you?
Yeah, absolutely trying to intimidate me. And I remember just standing there thinking, you're a grown man?
Yeah, what the hell?
Like, just...
Back off.
Yeah.
Back off, pal.
Yeah. And I remember just walking away thinking, what on earth just happened there?
What were we doing? Why were we shouting at you? Because he thought he knew better?
Yeah, and he was under pressure.
Wow.
Which, understandable, you're under pressure, get it.
Yeah, but there's no need for that.
No. But this is what I mean about the industry changing. So I know when I first started out, I had so many telling offs for doing stuff wrong or just not thinking about something before I did it, or I'd had so many tellings off. And I remember once one of the, I think she was the construction secretary at the time, I got a right telling off from the contracts manager. Can't even remember what it was about now. But she stormed into his office because she'd been in construction since forever. So she'd stormed him, give him what for, and then later on I'm getting an apology. Well, young me's like, this is really awkward. This is bizarre. But then I think as I've grown, you can have disagreements without...
Yeah. Listen, everyone, you can't agree on everything.
No.
But I wouldn't... Oh, God, just someone shouting in my face. I think I'd cry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have opened my mouth.
I'll go. But yeah, now I think it's just... And I think because of the confidence and because the knowledge and the experience and all the rest of it that comes with it, it always does give it some weight behind your conversation. And it's respect for professional to professional. You can have a conversation, and sometimes it can get heated.
Yeah.
Of course it can get heated. And, you know...
That's life.
There's a lot of language in the construction industry. That's
well, they don't hold back, that's for sure.
No. So, yeah, I've had my fair share of fallouts and debates and the rest of it, but I wouldn't change it because it's made me who I am.
Yeah. Well, you're doing absolutely amazing, Mel.
Thanks.
Like, honestly, it is inspiring, and I still can't believe it were only this year that you set up.
Yeah.
So there is going to be a lot more to come from you, that's for sure.
Yes.
Well, you and your team, hopefully soon.
Yeah. Yeah, so I do a bit of work with the ISO standards as well.
Okay, so what does that mean, Mel? Because I don't know what that means.
So they're international standards, basically. They're kind of a parameter for businesses to effectively manage risk in different areas.
Okay.
So you've got ISO 45001, which is health.
What does that
So they're all numbered.
Yeah.
They're basically,
okay.
that's just the reference for them. They're all numbered. So the 45001 is health and safety.
Yeah.
14,001 is environmental.
Yeah.
9,001 is quality.
Okay.
So what I do, I help businesses, whether they want to work towards the standards and achieve certification, or whether they just want to work within those parameters. So I'll go into businesses, look at what they're, how they're currently operating, do a kind of gap analysis, and then sit down with them and look at what needs to be done to achieve either certification or working in line with those standards.
Yeah.
But making sure it's relevant to that business.
Okay.
And as part of that as well, because carbon reduction's a massive thing now.
Yes.
Huge. And the construction industry are more and more involved in having to reduce the carbon footprint. So that's something I help businesses with as well, in terms of setting strategies, looking at where they are, measuring the carbon, and setting a strategy to reduce that in line with the government's targets of 2%. Or ideally 1.5, not percent, sorry, degrees.
Right.
2 degrees or 1.5 degrees. So, yeah, that's more what I do.
Wow.
No, but companies do need me. Because I'm going to take away that headache, aren't I? I'm going to take away we're all specialists in what we do.
Yeah.
So if I'm going into a facade company and they've got designers, they've got pre-construction, they've got surveyors, their MD's been in the industry for years and years, where's the safety specialism there?
Yeah. It's not that you can go in and become an extension to their team, like you said.
Yeah.
You can work alongside the people that are already in there, and they've not got someone that they've got to employ, so they've not got all that to deal with.
Yeah.
They've got someone coming in on a regular basis, overseeing everything and working closely with the team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and complementing existing teams as well.
Well, that's it. Working closely with the in-house team.
Yeah, yeah, and it's making sure that them as a business are appealing to their own client basis as well. So if their clients are demanding that,
so do you deal with the clients for them as well?
So I work with the client's strategy. So for example, if you've got a company, they have a client who's setting targets for their supply chain, then that can be incorporated into their strategy.
Brilliant.
To make sure that they're still appealing and they're still going to be on that supply chain list.
Yeah.
And they're still working towards within their own capabilities and their own budgets, and making sure that for them it's feasible as a business.
100%.
And they've got a plan in place. And you'll often find that their clients want to understand that they have a plan in place, not that everything's done, but that they've got a plan in place, so they've got some direction and they know where they're headed, because it's about my clients reducing their risk for their clients.
Yeah.
So if they're going to be more appealing as a supply chain partner because they do manage the safety, health, environment, quality, they are reducing the carbon, then they're going to be the more appealing option.
100%. So you take, like you said, you take away that headache and make sure everything's up to scratch.
Yeah, and because I know the industry as well, I know the headaches, I know the pinch points.
How long have you been in the industry again? Sorry.
Just over 20 years.
God, 20 years, you don't look old enough to me.
Thanks.
You're done.
Yeah, just over 20 years. And I've been in safety about 16 years.
Wow.
So
you know your stuff.
Been going a little while, yeah. And I've had some great exposure. So I know, like I say, I know what the problems are in the industry. I know where the pinch points are and how to work with people for the best outcome for everybody. And if they're more appealing, then they're going to be more successful.
100%.
So it makes sense to get somebody in.
So you're in the process of setting something up.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Yes. So I've obviously mentioned before about having a brilliant safety network.
Yeah.
Brilliant network of professionals. So I am setting up a Dimension Safety Social.
Okay.
So we're going to start off a small social thing, just a few of us gathering in gathering in a local bar.
Okay.
Talking all things safety. And the idea is that, we can have a guest speaker, so somebody who's going to come in and just chat about what they do, basically. Bit of a platform for my colleagues in the industry. But it's also a charity fundraising thing as well for the youth zone. So anybody that's coming along, you can give a voluntary donation, basically, to the local youth zone. So yeah, that's going to keep going through the business. I'm going to keep that up, and because I think up north there isn't enough of this. There's an awful lot going on in London and south of Birmingham, but I think we've still got a long way to come up north in terms of.
You're going to be the one to put us on the map.
Yeah.
Yes,
I am. Yeah. So we're gonna develop something good from that.
Oh, you'll have to let us know. We'll have to come to that.
Yeah. Definitely, you can come and give us a talk on how to promote ourselves.
I will. Yes,
because we're not the best at it.
Oh, you are.
But yeah, so that's what we're going to do.
So thanks for coming in today, Mel. It's been a pleasure, and it's been great to learn everything about you.
Thank you.